I'm Captain Meyers. We're here with our new medium pressure airbags, and I'm just going to want to go over them with you and show you some of the nomenclature and uses that we have for them, and then I'll put them all together and inflate one of them, just show you how they work. But these are our Paratech airbags. They are about 30 inches in diameter. They'll lift up to 2 feet, 23 inches actually, so that's fairly close to 2 feet. Each bag is capable of lifting 10,250 pounds. One of the things we got to be careful of them, or we should be knowledgeable of when we set them, is that we set them directly on top of themselves, not off to a side when we place them. So that's just one of the things that these straps are good for, indicating you got them lined up. These are the hoses that attach to the bag. They're 20 feet long each, color coded so you can identify which bag you have them hooked to. They have a quick coupling which stays back, push them together, they automatically lock. A lock ring will secure them to make sure they don't come undone. The next hose we have in the set is a 16-foot high pressure hose. It has the same style of connector, only smaller. Clicks together, lock ring tighten. This is our controller for the system. It's definitely easy to use. The input for the 16-foot hose, providing somebody has lock and done, is right there. The larger hoses, of course, clip into the front. Same fashion. Up-down control. This side for this hose, of course, this side for this hose. Pressing down will allow it to inflate. On the back side, on the red side, is deflate. We always deflate and inflate slowly with these bags. We need a regulator in order to hook to our bottles. Now we can use the compressed air. We could use a supplied air system from a truck. Any place we can get our compressed air from. We're going to need at least a 1 hour bottle. Your half-hour bottle can fill the bags, but that's it. You wouldn't have any leeway or extra pressure to use. So 1 hour bottle. This regulator is out of our high pressure setup. This is the style of nipple that's needed. Input pressure into the regulator can be up to 147 psi, but it actually works better with a little bit less, so between 150 psi will inflate your bags at good speed without setting off the relief valve. So let's hook them all together and we'll see how we raise a bag. The port for the high pressure, for the low pressure hose is directly in line with the labels. Kind of makes it easy to find. This is the relief valve that's built into the bag. Simply push and click. Spin your lock ring to make sure it doesn't come undone. When we're positioning our bag, we don't want to pull on the hose to position the bag. Use the sides of the bag, use the loops. Position your bag on a flat surface if you can, underneath your object you're going to lift. Your hose just once again clicks into the controller, spins up the lock ring to hold it in place. As with any regulator, you start with your regulator down before you open your bottle. together. We can open our bottle slowly as you do with any pressure system. Adjust your output regulator between 50 and 100 pounds. Right now it's set at about 75 pounds. The controller that your hose is in line with is what you use to inflate your bags. We want to inflate them slowly, making sure we're watching our lift. The needle's in the green, indicating our pressure is good coming into the bag. We can control how fast it goes by how fast we push down, how far we push down. There's a built-in regulator on each side of the controller. If you exceed the maximum pressure, you will begin to feel the air come out. Right now the bag is at its full height, and we are about 3 psi pressure, but we can inflate it all the way up to the 14.5 pounds, which would be its full maximum pressure for its full lifting height and weight. Inflated bag. It's inflated at 14.5 psi. It's lifted at just about 2 feet high from a 2 to 3 inch compressed height. It has capability to lift 10,250 pounds, which is greater than most of the vehicles on the road, cars on the road today. If you're lifting with it, you want to make sure you use 2 bags so you get a better balance, better positioning. Why would we want to use these? Well, obviously the lift height is a big plus compared to our low pressure airbags. They won't lift quite as much poundage, but at 10,250 pounds per bag, that's more than most will have to lift. It does have the capabilities of filling void spaces. If we have collapses, building collapses, trench collapses, confined space collapses, these will fill void spaces, they will lift, they will also work for flotation. We want to make sure when we're using these bags that we crib as we go. We build crib boxes, add cribbing as you raise. If they need to maneuver cribbing, or if you don't have enough cribbing, that's as high as you can go. So raise your bag slowly, make sure your cribbing team is keeping up with you while we're raising our vehicle or whatever we're using the bags for. Make sure that your bag stays underneath the equipment you're raising. You don't want it tilting or coming off to the side. Make sure when you're raising that you're not directly in line with the pinch point or where that bag would come squeezing out if it did release and escape from the vehicle. You will need to use, as I mentioned, the 1 hour bottle. Half-hour bottle won't fill these and still leave you any leeway to play with. You cannot unhook these bags and walk away from them like you can our high pressure bags. They have to be maintained up to the controller. And we're ready to let the air pressure out.
Would you recommend putting any cribbing on top of the bags, or do the bags go directly to the vehicle components?
Yeah, that's a good question. These bags are very, very stout up here. It's very thick material. If you're putting them under something hot like the exhaust system, definitely we want to put something fire resistant here, a fire resistant blanket, or maybe even some piece of plywood or something. But this bag is designed to grip what it's lifting up to. So if we're putting anything smooth here, we're creating a possibility of sliding around. So most often, unless there's something very sharp or very hot, no platform is needed.
And if we can't disconnect the bags to secure them in place, is there a safety measure for making sure the bags don't get deflated? Would you recommend leaving somebody at the controls at all time, or what's the best way to secure these bags once they're lifted?
That would be my my advice, is to leave the controller operator there full time. Once your cribbing is there, you could deflate the bags and move them if you had to make rescue. But that's one reason why we crib as we go. If there's a failure, cribbing will catch the vehicle. When we're utilizing these, we want to make sure that we don't stack one bag onto the other. They're made just to be themselves as a lifting device. You could build a platform under this bag with cribbing in order to set it on, which would give you more lift, especially a high vehicle or something. These straps here, not only do they help you line up the bag when you push it under the vehicle, but they can be used to work with the bag in this configuration. You could be using it to move a wall or a vehicle away from something, or move a concrete block, or fill in a void space in your trench rescue situation. So, but do not stack them, even in the horizontal position. All right, we're ready to deflate our bags. We do that by just pressing on the red down arrows here. They'll deflate slowly, a little noisily. We don't want to unhook our low pressure hoses until our bag is deflated. The pressure is gone out of the bag. There'll still be air left in it, but our pressure will be out. So let's do that.